We live, baby. Give a couple seconds, wait for some people to come in. How you doing, YouTube? It's been a minute. Gangsta. We got a live studio audience today. Say what's up. Zone 1 Spectrum Traveler.
Yo, what it do? You know Zone 1 Spectrum Traveler, 25 Guy Music Group in the building. We live, your boy Bruce Lada. You heard?
Hey. I see you. Who just joined in? Send me a message. All right.
We back.
We back.
Got a dope show for y'all today.
It's going to be a nice one. Should be fast. Should be easy. But it will be debated strongly.
I don't know what it's about.
Woo, K. Quinn. Good to see you. That's a new one. Shout out. Shout out. You get a live shout out, K. Quinn.
Rocket official.
Already, immediate. Got boom. Okay.
Dim the lights quicker.
We're back. Hello, YouTube. Cheers and welcome to the basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
Once again, I'm D-Boy Slim.
And the basement is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, basement family. Listen, hip-hop has a plethora of independent labels that have put out some of the greatest music we have ever heard. Period. Today, we debate two of the best of the independent labels. I can't wait to see what you think about our legacy of hip-hop owning its own music and controlling its own message. We've kind of lost that. Even though we have a lot more independent labels, we've lost that idea. But anyway, before we get started, you guys have to check out our sponsors. The Fleetwood Spice Collection. You know what it is. For a spice-changing experience, give the Fleetwood Spice Collection a try. Big, bold flavors unlike anything you've tried before.
Official.
Listen, Labor Day was Monday. I put it on the chicken and the burgers. It was crazy. Yeah. Listen, you need it. The Fleetwood Spice Collection. It's time to change your spice. Today's question. Who are hip-hop's greatest independent labels?
When we say independent, we mean those Rough Riders of the world. Rockefellers. I know the independent, the ones that did it without the majors, the help of the majors. Or little to no help, at least.
Little to no help. And even if they're signed under a major, the independent label is owned by someone who was independent and got that deal afterwards.
Facts.
That's what we mean. That's the criteria.
With that being said,
Lego, I'll let you start it off. Who you got?
well, I'm gonna go with Southside Zone.
Ooh, rap a lot. I see you, Sean.
Ooh, no doubt.
Nick. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I gotta go with Fifth, and not because Powers is one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
on cable television now, but
hey, this might be the final season on Stars too.
Power is a hit too. Y'all check that out. But yeah, Fifth did it his own way. It was a non-conventional way. This was at a time I remember. I think Jam Master Jay brought him in the game. It didn't work out with that Tone and Pope, I believe, or whatever label he was up under with them dudes. Right. And he asked Diddy for a shot. Diddy didn't want to sign him. And it, as a businessman, you could kind of understand 50 had a lot of controversy, a lot of real street beef that was going on at the time, as we all know. But not to rehash all of that, just to say all of that. I said all that to say that he still came out. Eminem, the white boy from Detroit, gave him the opportunity and the shot up under the whole Jimmy Iovine Interscope.
Go figure.
Aftermath umbrella. And he never looked back. Once he got the opportunity, once he was able to bring his team in through the door, he never looked back. And also giving platforms to dudes in Nashville, such as Young Buck, who went platinum on G-Unit Records. The Game, who had his best look when he was on, whether he likes it or not, or wants to admit it or not, his best look was that documentary CD he put out, which was on G-Unit Records. So 5 times platinum. You talking about Young Buck, that's double platinum. That's Fifth. That was the driving force was the G-Unit wave at the time, and like I said, they had a run not too many could really say that they had like G Unit. Like I said, you started with Fifth with the Get Rich or Die Trying, which went diamond, as we all know. Spawned G Unit record, not only G Unit record, excuse me, but G Unit clothing. Diversify, which followed the blueprint of the Bad Boys and the Rockefellers at the time, but still in all, he did his thing. And I'm not sure what the net worth or what the total revenue was for G Unit clothing that first year or the first year and a half or two that it came out, but he did his numbers. We also know about the movie Get Rich or Die Trying he came out with. This was under all the same thing. Like I said, once M gave Fifth his shot, as we see, he never looked back. Banks, I can't forget about the Hunger for More. Banks went platinum. He also, decided to bring on acts like Mace, M.O.P., Mobb Deep. I think Mobb Deep went gold on the Gina record. So, yeah. Fifth definitely did his thing, and as far as independent label goes, it still stands tall and still stands amongst the rest as one of the best to do it, if not the best. But who you got?
Listen, that's not a bad choice. Many times we forget all the things that G Unit had with them. It's not just 50. It's not just Lloyd Banks.
Yeah, yo.
You know what I mean? It's a lot to go with that. It's movie entertainment. But there's another dude by the name of Tom Silverman. In 1981, Tom Silverman started a company called Tommy Boy. You wondering where the name came from? That's why. 1981 to 2002 is where they were really independent. After that, they were signed by Warner, Electrica, and Atlantic. But if you want to talk about my favorite word, yeah, we're talking about the people who signed Queen Latifah, who if I'm not mistaken, named as the #1 female artist of all time. Capone and Noriega, that's Tommy Boy. Hip Hop Hooray! Ho! That's Tommy Boy. Naughty by Nature. Everlast, the white boy with the guitar, who did numbers. These are all platinum selling artists. People forget that Tommy Boy not only was an independent hip hop label, but they were an advanced music label. All of it under hip hop, under the genre of hip hop, but I'm not sure that you can get anything from G Unit that goes from the spectrum of Latifah all the way to Everlast, all the way to Jump Around. Y'all remember that? No, that wasn't Cypress Hill. That's House of Pain. House of Pain. All the way to Jamaica, my birthplace. Yeah? Buju Banton. This is Tommy Boy. Listen, I have no problem with G Unit. But when you're talking about the best independent that went all the way from Jamaica to here, and not just those people that I mentioned, we still have to talk about Digital Underground. The Humpty Dance. Like, it goes on. And I still haven't even talked about De La Soul. My favorite group off of Tommy Boy. This is an emotional response. This is an emotional argument. Because we could say Bad Boy. We could say who has the most #1s, who has the most Grammys. Queen Latifah has Grammys. Digital Underground has platinum hits. Queen Latifah does too. Naughty by Nature has platinum and a Grammy. But when I say people like De La Soul, it's the type of music that touched me. The best independent. It's got to be Tommy Boy.
You know the type of music that touched me? The realest and quality street music. The most authentic music. And it's very rare that you have a label that corners the market like G Unit did at its peak, where the nicest West Coast rapper and the nicest East Coast rapper, the nicest Cali rapper and the nicest New York rapper is on the same team. And even if just for a minute, because as we know, Game and 50 collided, and they couldn't get along. They couldn't sustain the run. But if just for a minute, it was something that was rarely seen, if ever. And like I said, they did it. They obviously they was at their peak at that time, because like I said, Buck had already went double platinum. Banks had already went double platinum. Now you put out a Game who's repping Compton with 50, who's already the hottest on the East Coast, if not arguably in the game, and they were all on the same team. Not to mention, the guy distributing him is mentioned as one of the nicest rappers, but he also was involved in production on Get Rich or Die Trying. Eminem, who I'm talking about. I think they just had the Game cornered and smashed, and like I said, they were at a peak that's rarely seen. Now, there's no disrespect to Tommy Boys in years. In different years, you can say, oh, you can point to various artists that Tommy Boy had and the diversity that was on their label, but never all at one time did you pay attention to Tommy Boy and say, wow, they really got the Game on smash like that. Like, you say, okay, Naughty by Nature is from Tommy Boy. Okay, Queen Latifah is on Tommy. When were they out at the same time where you can say, wow, this record label really is on fire right now? And this is what I'm talking about when I'm pointing out G-Unit and the run that they had. From about, the label was founded in 03. Get Rich or Die Trying the same year. Like I said, the run that they had, every album that I mentioned was maybe within a year's time. When you had Banks and then you had Buck and then you had Game, like those were all back to back platinum selling albums. Like I said, it's rare, and this is an independent label. It's no majors, nothing. Like, granted, you had the machine behind you with Interscope and all of that, but this is the G-Unit wave. This is the G-Unit, because if it was that easy, then D12 would have did the same thing, or Slaughterhouse under Eminem would have done the same thing. It's not quite that easy.
And I hear that argument. It's a good one. I mean, they did have it on Smash. There's moments, but there's a different quality to a legacy of greatness.
Okay.
You see, when you might have it on Smash, but all the way from Africa Bambaataa to Buju Banton to Queen Latifah, we talk about ladies first. The impact that they had on people as a whole. The idea is a legacy of greatness over time, from 1981 to 2002, even to right now. I'm gonna tell you that, you might have you might have it on Smash at one point, but to continue a legacy of greatness over that amount of time, I see you, Suave House. Thanks for commenting. Over that amount of time, though, I think that to me is worth more than cornering a market at a certain place in time.
I could argue that, because the impact that time still goes on to this day. And like I said, it reached heights that had never been seen. You holler at me when Tommy Boy has his own sneakers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Reebok signed G-Unit sneakers. There was a G-Unit sneakers. Right or wrong, is that a fact? That's a fact right there. So
I mean, if we're talking about clothing or music, I'm not sure what we're talking about. It
transcended music. That's what I'm saying. The impact that movement had of those artists doing what they did, it transcended music. So to say, Tommy Boy, the everlasting legacy, this, that, and the third, I feel you. I understand that. But I said, I'm not sure an independent label had a bigger impact. Unless you're talking about maybe Bad Boy Rockefeller. Maybe. But like I said, this is and I respect 50 because those was homegrown artists. Lloyd Banks is from South Jamaica, Queens. Tony Yayo is from South Jamaica, Queens.
Listen, man, people like Grand Poobah, okay? When you talk about people like Grand Poobah, that changed that changed the game, Queen Latifah, that changed the game, Everlast, that changed it again, all the way to Nori. They've expanded. They've had people who've expanded brands and gone out past hip hop. If you listen to Drink Champs right now, if you watch Queen Latifah, who's won multiple Academy Awards, okay, it's I feel you. They don't have a shoe company. That's what's up. But the artists that they put out have transcended hip-hop just as well and over a longer period of time. That's really my wrap-up, is the legacy of greatness from 81 till now, and the artists have transcended hip-hop and reggae.
Listen.
It's a longer period of time. It's proven to be great. It's proven to be the greatest.
Listen. You want to weigh in?
Hey,
Listen.
am I right?
Okay, this is how I feel about it. I'm gonna slide over this.
Come on in, come on in.
Well, it's travel bed right here.
Yeah.
Hi fam, what's good? This is Zone 1 Spectrum Travel. This is how I feel about it, alright? I take it from both perspectives. Like, I do think that the legacy is important, but I also think that the time in which you do the music is ultimately important as well, because it brands the music historically. However, I think that in this day and time, the reference to G Unit is more pliable, because now people are looking at numbers a little differently. Back in the 80s, they weren't looking at numbers like that. At least not black people. Black people wasn't looking at numbers, or hip hoppers wasn't looking at numbers like he sold $1 million.
You have to remember the whole point of this conversation is the independence of it, controlling our message. That's why numbers wasn't as much.
Exactly, and nobody was really building on, self-ownership. They wasn't building on that in the 80s. They was trying to get out of the hood. They was like, yo, we got this message. We got something different than what's out. It's not R&B, it's not disco, it's a little bit of both, but at the same time, we want to get out of this box that we in. So motherfuckers was just trying to eat, honestly, in the 80s, so they can get to that platform where G Unit has. So if it wasn't, so if it wasn't for the Queen Latifahs and the Tommy Boys and everything like that, yeah, they may have not came out with a shoe line, but Queen Latifah got 10 endorsements for the rest of her life. She a Revlon makeup artist.
Oh, facts.
So, she had her own television show, and she canceled her own show because she didn't want to do it anymore, not because she didn't have the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So
after the TV show, she got multiple Academy Awards for movies.
Right. And she
talking about Flavor Unit, or we talking about Tommy Boy?
I mean, but I'm saying, even right now, she just dropped a disc like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it was hard. It still was hard.
It was it was Remy, wasn't it?
No.
It was Foxy? It was crazy.
So I'm saying she still got it, although she's acting and she's on Fox and she's doing whatever. She's transcended as an individual, not just a rapper, but she's a role model to a lot bigger demographic than just hip hop. So yes, I do believe that those older artists and those older independent labels bridge the gap for what we have today. But at the same time, if it wasn't for 50, I mean, come on, man, In the Club, man, that was 03. We in 2018, you might as well say now. 15 years later, that shit's still banger. I don't care what you say. In the club, when it come on, it's a rap.
Hip Hop Parade.
Hip Hop Parade.
Oh, hey. What has lasted long? As a matter of fact, I'll let you wrap it up.
They probably gonna play 50 first before they play Hip Hop Parade.
They'll still play that. That's the difference is they'll still play that. 20, 30, 40 years later, they'll still play Hip Hop Parade.
Right, they will.
Go ahead, you get to wrap it up.
I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I respect Tommy Boy, but timing does have, as we all know, have a lot to do with music. And then making your way. That's what we talk when we talking about independence. Creating your own lane, creating your own wave, creating your own movement at whatever time that happens or that unfolds. Because as we've seen with 50 or a lot of independent artists or independent labels, they had to pave their way. They may have taken a deal at first just to come back and have. Jay-Z was the same way. They took a deal first and then came back with his own label. So whatever lane or whatever approach you take, and then if you come back and do it independently, I respect it. And that's what we're speaking about, independent labels. Like I said, G Unit has to be one of the best for everything I just mentioned. We talking about credible artists to this day. You tell me, Game, Lloyd Banks, even Young Buck. These are still credible artists to this day, and they dropped their albums probably close to 15 years ago. 50 Cent. I don't care what cipher you put him in. Go do your homework and catch him in the ciphers with Consequence, who was Q-Tip's cousin, and Nori back in the day when he was still in Queens, but still had the pinky ring and the link.
Okay.
50's always been 50, and he's still 50. He's just doing TV now, which happens to be, if we're talking about achievements, one of the best shows on cable TV, like I mentioned. So, and it's still G Unit Records. It's no longer distributed by Interscope Records, but it's still G Unit Records. That's still in existence. So, I'm not sure if Tommy Boy is even still in existence.
It is, actually, right now. It actually is distributed under Warner, Elektra, and Atlantic. So that's why I only use up to 2002, because they have a lot of majors behind them now. And now they do world music, rock music, EDM, and everything else. But listen.
Y'all let us know what y'all think.
What do you think? That's what it comes down to. Who won this debate? I mean, is it legacy over time with great artists, or is it
impact? Is it the impact?
Cornering the market. You tell it. Let us know. Leave those comments right down there, and we'll shout you out. Speaking of shout outs, Derek Thomas. He says, Nas is nice. Tragedy is like the Temple of Amun-Ra, though. Classic architecture. Everybody's for Traj versus Nas, man. I don't know what's going on. Sean Small. The Trendsetters. Ooh, and you had a whole bunch of other ones on there I didn't even get to read. Sean Smith. Was it Sean Small or Sean Smith? Write another one. I'm gonna go there. Everybody who we said before, y'all getting shout out. We got another shout out. Sharpshooter. He said, P's War Is On versus Crazy. And he was talking about P, God rest his soul. Apostles Warning too. Shook Ones, of course. No doubt. I Shot Your remix.
No doubt.
All Hall of Fames versus I can name 100 more.
Vintage Mob D.
Man, he said and HNIC too. I forgot to even mention that when we was talking about P. God rest his soul. Thank you, Sharpshooter. Great comment. Roberto Cervantes. He says, need I say intelligent hoodlum? Tragedy again. I'm sorry, but tragedy is a pyramid of priceless glyphs to Nas's brick project.
I didn't know tragedy had that many fans.
Listen, they've been shouting him out for how many weeks has this been out? And I've got not one Nas. Not one. Only Traj. That's crazy, man. Listen, Roberto Cervantes, thank you very much. This is a long one. Let's see if I can read the whole thing. D Wizzle 0007. He said, oh, you already know. That pussy never said shit about Pac when he was alive, but waits 21 years after his death to badmouth him and call him Cheddar Bob. Of course.
The flex, huh?
The flex joint. He said, well, even if he did shoot himself while trying to pull out and defend himself while being drawn down on and robbed, shows how much heart Pac had. Flex, that pussy would have stood there and pissed his pants and cried like a bitch that he is. Hey, listen, man, I gotta say, yeah, I agree. This dude talking like he does now is only cause Pac is dead, man. Let's be honest. But hey, D Wizzle 0007, I appreciate that. What you gotta say, man?
We appreciate all the comments. Keep subscribing. Keep tuning in. We got some more dope shows. We got another one coming right behind this one.
Yeah, it's going to be another one later on today. We got to do our City Wrecking Wednesdays, people. You already know.
To the next time, we off this.
Peace. Hey, shout out to someone, the Spectrum Traveler. Come back in here. Tell him what's up.
Yo, once again, it's Someone Spectrum Traveler. You can find me at Mr. Someone. It's MRZOMEONA. Anything. Twitter, Snapchat, it don't even matter. Special shout out, we didn't even mention James Brown. Without James Brown, all this independent label shit wouldn't even been nothing. So James Brown was the first one, and James Brown has been the most sampled artist of all time in rap history. So James Brown, goddammit.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Y'all check out Someone, Spectrum Traveler. Music, beats, everything you need, man. Check out what he just told you. With that being said,
we out of here.
Peace.